Hello everybody and welcome to Naval Gaming. This is going to be the first Overwatch video out of many on how to approach the game. This video will be handy for people out there that are new to FPS and want to learn the basics and how to improve their skills. But it will also be helpful for more advanced players. So let's get right into it. So first up are your graphics settings. Your graphics settings are pretty straightforward. You want to have a clean and smooth gaming experience, meaning you want to have as high frame rate as possible without any hiccups, and you want to have as little possible visual effects going on at the same time. Now the reason you want this is because you'll be a lot faster reacting to situations and your aiming will be way more accurate. The settings to achieve this are pretty straightforward. You want to have everything turned down to the lowest setting possible except for your resolution, render scaling and field of view. Now resolution and render scaling can be anything to your liking, but field of view actually has a huge impact on your gameplay, because the higher your field of view is, the more overview you will have on what is going on in the game. As for graphics, you can see everything is turned off or turned to the lowest setting possible. One thing to notice is that you want to have VSync turned off. The reason you want to have it turned off is because VSync actually adds input delay, and that is definitely something you want to avoid. Now there is a downside to VSync, and that's called screen tearing. Screen tearing is something you can get used to, but input delay will always have a detrimental effect on your gameplay, so that's why we turn it off. Have display performance turned on so you can keep an eye out for your latency and FPS in game. That way you can immediately identify if something is off. Next up are controls. Controls are always up to your personal preference, but I would like to discuss my personal settings. First up is bloom. Now for those of you out there that don't know what bloom is the visual feedback you get from recoil. So turning this on will allow you to be very accurate bursting down targets on long range. Then there's the type of crosshair. There's default crosshair, circle, normal crosshairs, short crosshairs, and my personal favorite, the dot. The reason I love the dot is because it's small, simple, and accurate. Then there's the color of the crosshair. Of course, again, this is a matter of personal preference, but I read somewhere that green stands out the best in backgrounds, so that's why I went with green. Now there's a unique feature in Overwatch that will allow us to have separate controls per hero, which will help us do some cool tricks in the game. But I won't be getting into that right now. But expect to see more of these tricks in future videos. And then we have gameplay. Always skip kill cam. You want to have it turned off, that way you can see how you died. You can see maybe you're out of position. There's definitely a lot you can learn from it. Another thing you want to have turned on is kill feed display, that way you can keep track on who's dead and alive in every battle. And last up is sensitivity. Now sensitivity is obviously a matter of personal choice, but I never really had any FPS experience before this, and I really didn't feel like playing this game for months on end to try and figure out what works best for me. So what I did is I just googled what all the pros use in Overwatch, and it turns out there's actually like kind of a ballpark you want to stay in. Like I found out that most pros are in between 25 centimeters per 360 and 35 centimeters per 360. Now for those of you out there that don't know what CM360 stands for, it's basically the amount of centimeters your mouse has to travel across your mousepad to make a in-game 360. Now in order to measure this, you just simply want to take a ruler, put it up next to your mousepad, and then in-game look at a fixed point, like the edge of this wall, and you simply make a 360, and you measure the centimeters it takes to make this 360. So now that we know how to measure your CM360 and what most pros use, it's easy to find a suitable sensitivity for you. Just experiment a little bit and stay around that range of 25 to 35 centimeters. So that's it for today. Now if you like this video, like and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitch.